Thanks for watching Your Plates Are Mine, where you don't have to be a professional chef to be a star in your own kitchen. I'm your host, David Miller, and I'd like to invite you to spend a little time with us as we meet some great new friends who are going to show us how to make something incredible you're going to want to make at home. We're here in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, a neat little town about 30 minutes out of Murfreesboro and about an hour out of Nashville. It's got a great history, and there's this wonderful little shopping center, shopping area downtown with antiques and crafts and all that kind of fun stuff. But the main attraction is the Bell Buckle Cafe. And Jay Gregory's been nice enough to invite us in to tell us a little bit about the cafe and share some great food with us. So let's go meet the gang at the cafe and have some great food. I'd like to introduce you to Jay Gregory and Heidi, proprietors, chefs, cooks, creative geniuses behind the Bell Buckle Cafe here in Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Guys, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Well, tell me a little bit about the cafe. I mean, why Bell Buckle?
Well,
We said the same thing.
yeah, my kids were little when I did this 20 years ago, and they said worse than why Bell Buckle,
oh,
because they came from Huntsville,
okay.
Alabama, and I had pizza places there, Italian restaurants and pizzerias called Jay Gregory's Pizzas.
All right.
And you know, I just wanted to get out of a bigger town, live in a small community, and I was about 48 years old, I think, then, and I was ready to slow down a little bit. And,
Well, you're not supposed to tell everybody how old you are. You'll
I
date
know.
yourself.
That's Heidi that won't tell you how old she is. She's 38. But no, she
you can
is.
get him
Okay.
later.
I know.
But we just wanted to live in a small community and get a little bit back more to normal life, what I call, and not so fast-paced to the city and everything, but we loved Huntsville. I mean, and when I was younger, I loved the cities, but now that I'm older, I like to be out more of a country, rural type connection.
A little slower pace.
Little slower
Very
pace,
slow.
Very slower. Well, not at the restaurant. You guys are usually rocking, aren't you?
We are. Yeah, we stay pretty busy. And this is getting into our busy season. We have a lot of caterings coming up and a lot of different events and stuff going on.
So it's not just the restaurant. You guys do catering, events, also music. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have a small record label. Of course, we're very creative, and we call it Bell Buckle Records. But I started the acoustic label. We do mostly bluegrass. And I have some different artists on the label. Valerie Smith Liberty Pike is my main artist, and she's a partner, her and her husband, of our Bell Buckle Records label. And we're quite well known around the world, actually, because we've performed and traveled all over. We get a lot of radio airplay, so that kind of helps promote Bell Buckle and the cafe.
So it's big time in the small town.
Well, it's small time in the small town. It's still, it sounds good, but it's a very small company, and this is a very small town, and we're very important in a very small, tiny area.
Well, I'm kind of fascinated that you can do something as I know, for me, I'm not a real music guy, but you can do something like a radio show out of a small town like this. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I guess we've been doing the radio show for about 20 years on WLIJ in Shelbyville. We started with Paul and Nadine Hopkins, and we bought the airtime, and we do a 2-hour show every Saturday, and we have live music.
Oh, wow.
There's not a whole lot of them around. When we started, there wasn't any. There's a few now.
So you do live music on Saturday here and broadcast it.
That's correct.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a good advertisement. You know, when we started when you live in a small town, when you're coming to Bell Buckle, you're not on your way anywhere.
All right.
You're not on your way going anywhere. You have to be coming here because we're kind of off the beaten path.
Right.
So the radios allowed us to kind of get the people in the community to know that we were here, and it slowly built, and a lot of them come over, they like the music, and of course our first thing's still the food. They come for the food.
Now, it's my understanding this is a family business and always has been.
Absolutely.
And Heidi now is taking over the reins of the restaurant?
Yes.
So he's putting you in charge or throwing you under the bus?
Little of both.
Little of both.
Take taking over, so it's my sister Hillary also helped.
All right.
And my mom is still involved, and so we all have been taking it over and trying to wing them out a little bit.
Yeah. Slowly push him out the door. Well, one of our friends contacted us and told us how great the food was. You gotta go to the Bell Buckle Cafe and try it. So we came out the other day and had to do a little test run first, and the food really is awesome. So Heidi, what is some of the most popular menu items you guys serve?
We have our smoked chops that we smoke on the grill. We make our own seasoning and we put on there and smoke them on the grill. Those are one of our popular ones.
Right.
Also, smoke our own barbecue.
Okay.
It takes us about 18 hours to smoke it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And it's delicious. And we have a oatmeal cake.
Oh, the oatmeal caramel cake.
Homemade, and it's delicious.
Now, was that your recipe or your sister's?
That was actually one of our aunt's recipes. It's been in the family, and we started making it. We've also done
really
a grits cake.
Oh, you told me you come up with that recipe all these years. Okay.
Grits, and then we put some strawberries and Cool Whip on it. And then we have a delicious lemonade. That's real popular.
Good stuff.
And we have a bunch of good vegetables that are, homemade, and we put a lot of heart and good work into.
Yeah. Well, it's
delicious.
great. So I think right now I'm ready to go cook something. How about you?
I'm ready to eat something.
All right. Well, I have to throw you a little extra credit because, like I said, we were able to come over early and sample some stuff. This chicken noodle soup is definitely a step above. I say complex, he says simple. The point I'm trying to make is that most of the recipes of everything we've tried here has a very interesting depth to the flavor. Your chicken noodle soup is some of the best I've ever had because it's not just salty water with some stuff floating around in it. It has a kind of a complexity to the flavor that just kind of runs all the way through it, and I was really impressed. So I'm excited about learning how to make this. And
well, I hit a good batch the other day. Let's hope this doesn't turn out to be salty water, okay? But we're going to try our best. And folks, I want to tell you that this isn't, I don't cook with a half a cup of this and a cup of this. We don't do a lot of that. It's more of a creative process. I think when David was saying it's maybe complex, but it's not complex. It's more creative than complex, okay? So I don't want anybody to think that they can't make this chicken noodle soup. It's very simple. But the fun of it is you can make it a little different every time and come real close to just having great chicken noodle soup. Now, I've already prepared all this with the celery, carrots, chopped onions, and I have dry noodles ready to go into the soup. In the background, we have the chicken that's been cooking till it's tender. We're going to take that out in a minute. I'm going to show you how we pull the chicken. But in the meantime, I'm going to be putting this in the broth. We're making our own broth in here. And I start out basic. Yes, I put a little salt in there. But after it's all in here, that's when you want to taste your broth and make sure that you've got the right seasonings. And we're going to add some other seasonings. I want to mention this one here. This is a great product right here. This is Knorr. And I can't speak Spanish, but it's caldo con sabor de pollo. I hope I got that right for all you folks that speak Spanish.
chicken flavor bouillon.
Yes, yes. With other natural flavors. But this is a bouillon-based dry powder, but it does have a few other seasonings in this mix, and it gives it a wonderful flavor. And I recommend this. You can get it at Walmart sells it, Kroger's, most of the grocery stores will have this. So you might want to try it. I add this to the bouillon to this, and it just flavors it wonderful, along with some other things that we'll get into in just a minute. But right now, I think it's time to pull some chicken out of here.
All right.
We're going to make you a chicken noodle cook here.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, that's so tender it's all falling apart in there. Oh my gosh.
That's going to make great soup.
We're ready to eat.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything here. This is getting good.
Oh,
okay.
That's beautiful.
It can get a little bit tricky getting it out when it gets that tender. But boy, does it make some good soup. And a little messy. And I suggest when you do this at home, got me a wing there.
There you go.
I suggest that when you do this at home, what you'll want to do here, I'm going to give you this short tong.
Thank you.
Is I put a cutting board, and I use one of these bread sheet pans that you can pick up at Sam's or anywhere. You can buy them. They're like $11. They're not very expensive. You can even buy the half sheet and a smaller cutting board. It keeps your drippings from going on the floor or getting down your pant leg or your skirt or your apron or wherever it's going to go. But so I would be kind of careful with that. Now,
and that's a great idea for anything you're cooking at home. Slicing the turkey at Thanksgiving, slicing a roast, anything that's going to make a mess. That's an awesome tip. Thanks.
Absolutely, it works really nice. Plus, we're going to put the skins over here. I'm going to give you a piece to work on right here, so you can have your very own piece of chicken.
Okay. I'm just going to scoot this pot back so I'm not bumping into you.
And the only thing that we want to be careful of, you don't want to get any bone.
Right.
People are funny about bone in their chicken.
You don't want to choke
now,
anybody.
We're going to chop this later, so what we're going to do is throw it over here in this pan. And again, you can do it any thickness that you want. Some people like big chunks of chicken, some like the smaller chunks of chicken. And you can regulate from your own home how much chicken you put in here. In other words, you can make one big expensive pot, or you can make 3 wonderful tasting inexpensive pots, depending on the amount of ingredients that you put on here and your budget. You just pick through these pieces, get as much out of as you can, but when you cook that right, it almost falls off the bone, so you don't have a huge problem. Now this is stuff you pulled over here, right? Yep. Well, David's doing good. He's already getting down it into bite-sized pieces here.
I just don't want to don't want to reach across, knock you over.
It's okay, I knock back.
Stab you with a fork, you know.
No, that's happened a few times. But